I would just like to make a correction. I said Mussolini went missing on the third day. I don't know how many days he'd been dead when he went missing. What I meant to say is he went missing on Easter Sunday, okay? And the book, The Body of Il Duce, talks about, I think that's the book. I've read multiple books about him. There's a book that talks about, that declares that the person that stole the corpse or got other people to help him steal the corpse said the ghost of Mussolini wanted him to have the corpse go missing on Easter Sunday to mimic Jesus going missing on the third day, the resurrection, Easter Sunday, celebrating rising from the dead on the third day. And so that's what I meant by that. And so, sometimes when you're talking, you're trying to get at one thing, and you say something totally different, and I don't want to give false information, but things like that happen where you're trying to get at something and what you're trying to communicate is authentically the truth, but you say something totally different, and then suddenly you might be stating something that's totally falsehood, and you're not really lying because you're actually you're trying to state something true, but it's turning into something else. So yes, he did go missing on Easter Sunday, and he spent 12 years in a Franciscan friary, and St. Francis of Assisi was the guy that his favorite saint that he was responsible for making become the patron saint of Italy. And I have to wonder, did they know that they were intentionally putting him in a Franciscan friary when he loved St. Francis of Assisi so much and made him the patron saint of Italy and all that? Or was that an accident and it just kind of turned out that way? And I believe that was his becoming a Franciscan brother, because his pupil Francisco Franco, those two names both mean Francis. The current pope is Pope Francis, okay? And dictator Franco was the most successful fascist, and he was able to stay out of World War II because he didn't use his military to stand up to Hitler and piss off Hitler like Mussolini did. So he wasn't facing an invasion from Hitler if he didn't join Hitler, whereas Mussolini actually was, because Mussolini really angered Hitler because Mussolini was calling on allies to help him stop the annexation of Austria. And so that's why he was dragged into that war. And dictator Franco was not. Dictator Franco was in many ways a lot more vicious, but he was dealing with a very vicious enemy that you have to be extremely vicious to defeat that enemy. To accomplish the greater good, you sometimes have to be extremely vicious. Kind of like chemotherapy can damage your body and make your hair fall out and make you very sick and make you very ill and kill a lot of very good cells and damage your body very badly, but it can also save your life in the process. And that's kind of what dictator Franco was. And dictator Franco didn't like having to do those things. And in fact, after the Spanish Civil War, he put a sword on the altar of a church and said, "I vow I'm not going to shed more blood unless Spain gets invaded, or of course, unless there's another civil war with communists backed by the Soviet Union or something like that." Okay, God bless you.